Hey there, my name is Thompson, and this is my demonstrational speech for communications. I will be demonstrating how to properly and effectively choral sing. In middle school and high school, I was in a choral program for 7 years, and I graduated high school from it with the National Choral Arts Award. And I'm going to college currently to become a choral director and a choral teacher. So I decided on putting that as one of my topic choices when we did the topic assignment submissions, and here we are now. So to get started, the topics I want to go over and demonstrate are knowing your repertoire, knowing your music, your pieces, that falls under repertoire, knowing what posture you have to have in order to properly vocal and choral sing to be able to get the most noise out, the most emotion out, and what different vowels or breathing patterns you need to be able to push your sound out and be able to sound like you want to sing what you're trying to sing. So to start off with the repertoire, you normally are going to have 3 or 4 pieces that you work on in a rehearsal space or classroom. However, your average is always going to be 3. So in 3, I'll just show one, so I don't have to show all 3. This is what they're going to look like. Usually you'll get tiny little portfolio pamphlets. Those are the ones you're going to buy online. You can do photocopies. Depending on the ones you can do, you have to be very careful with doing photocopies because some of them are illegal, and as a teacher you can get in a real lot of trouble if you get caught using them. So inside the repertoire comes all kinds of musical notation. You got your measures, you have your rhythm, you have your sight reading, which is your notes. One of the most important parts of the repertoire is knowing those, because if you can't read music, you're not going to be able to figure out the piece you're trying to learn whatsoever. The musical notation comes with things that depend on how loud or how soft, how fast, how slow you have to be. A lot of the musical notation you'll see in repertoire is, it depends on, or not depends, but a lot of the musical repertoire you see in music is Italian based. Sometimes you'll see Latin, sometimes you'll see Greek. Counting your measures, counting your rhythms, and sight reading comes with time, but if you practice it enough, you should be able to get it down. When it comes to repertoire and singing, repertoire falls under the line moving into posture. There's also more physicality. That's physical, but also your posture when you're singing is physical. Usually you have a binder and an iPad in your hand when you're doing the music. So when you're doing choral singing and you're rehearsing, the majority of the time you're standing, you're not sitting down. Sitting down is like to take a break. If you're professional, you're standing all the time. So you're holding music right here, right at your face, so you don't have to move your head at all. If you have to move your head, you're not holding your music right at all. You hold it up right here as a binder. Pretend I have a binder here. I'm holding it like this in a binder. And I can just look up at my director, and while they're conducting, so I can see what patterns I need to follow and what musical notation I need to follow just based off of how they're conducting. The posture sits normal though. The posture is shoulder width apart of your feet. Your shoulders are squared, your chest is out. However, sometimes, even if you're a boy, it mainly happens with girls, but as a boy, don't stick your butt out. That's the most important part. You gotta suck in your butt. It's awkward, but you gotta do it. So, you try and, if anything, you kind of like stick up. If anything, you kind of bend your knees a little bit at first. If you get used to it, it'll just stop on its own, but being able to have a high posture, my shoulders aren't hunched like this, my shoulders are up, my head is straight, I'm shoulder width apart at my feet, my shoulders are up, and my chest is out. This is proper choral posture, not this hunched over stuff. Moving on, we also have the vowels and the breathing pattern that come in the music itself. As you see, I brought out a piano that I have. I'll just play a middle C so you can understand. The vowels, you have A, I, E, O, and U. Which is A, E, O, U in choral singing. Depending on how you play it, you want to have, normally it's 2 to 3 finger width apart when you do your vowels. in vowel shape. To be able to do that, you can either, it's gross, but it works. Put 2 fingers, or put 3, and that's how you get your 3. So this is like kind of like demonstrate. I don't know how loud this is going to be yet. So if you watch with headphones, I'm sorry. Oh, that's not loud. So U and O sound very similar. Ooh, ooh, ooh. So they sound very similar. You can't really distinct them that much, but usually 2 to 3 is where you want to be. That gets your most volume out. That gets your most emotion out. And that's where you want to sit. You don't want to sit anywhere other than that. Unless sometimes we go to the 1 finger length. That's if you want to be really quiet. It's musical notation like piano or pianissimo, which is quiet or soft and then very soft. But usually that's kind of where you want to sit. Your breathing patterns also come into contact too. That's why you have your chest out here, because you have a thing called an epigastrium here in your chest, which is like your solar plexus. Everything sits here. This is where you use a lot of your air. Because when you're singing, you run out of air, you feel it here and in your stomach. So you kind of like, it's also funny, you lock in your abs too. Might not have any, but you'll feel it when you're singing. And if you have the right posture, you'll feel it. However, I believe that is all to explain when it comes to your repertoire, when it comes to your sight reading, your measures, your rhythm, your musical notation, the repertoire, your posture, keeping it up straight, keeping your shoulders up, your chest out, your butt in, and being able to have proper vowel and breathing pattern within the actual repertoire you're performing or rehearsing while in either school or a professional area. However, that is all. I hope I could demonstrate some proper choral and effective singing. Thank you. Choral.